Hi and welcome back to Rolling the Robsons, where we're all about caravan time as family time and caravan time as freedom. Today we're going to talk about the madness that is caravan prices. If you're new here, we're a family of 5, we've got 2 adults and 3 children, and we use our caravan to explore. So smash the like button, hit subscribe and the bell notification below to come with us on our adventures. From time to time I'll look at caravans and caravan prices particularly. Over the past couple of years, caravan prices have gone one way, particularly the used market. They've gone up and up and up. Now, when you think about it, it's totally understandable why this has happened. Basically, we've got a supply and demand issue. So because people can't go away abroad, either they don't want to go away abroad, or they want to go abroad and they're not to go to the country they want to go to, or they want to go abroad and they can go to the country they want to, but then all the tests are very prohibitive, particularly for a family like ours. It would have cost us, I think, nearly £400 just for the tests to go to France and come back. So people have obviously been buying caravans or motorhomes or camper vans. Now, because everyone's been buying them, the dealers have realised this and thought, well, we're going to have to put our prices up to make a good amount of profit. And because of this, the people at home, so people like me and you, have put the prices up of their caravans when they're selling them. So obviously it's a bit of a spiral that's been going on. So I thought, well, I'm going to have a look at, if I was to go and buy a caravan now, like the one I'm in now, is it now a cheap holiday like it used to be? Now, my parents used to go away in their caravan with my sister. I didn't used to actually go. But one of the things that they really liked about it was a pretty reasonable, pretty cheap activity. Now, I'm not going to say that it is totally no longer a cheap activity for a family, because again, if you buy a cheaper caravan and you get a good one, then it can be a cheaper experience. However, I'm going to look at a fairly modern caravan. So our caravan, a Bailey Palermo, a standard one, not a Grande, is a 2017 model. So if you were to buy our caravan at a dealership now, you would pay around £18,000 to £20,000. Stay tuned to the end though, because we'll give you a couple of bonuses about trying to get a better deal or a better price on your caravan. So our caravan, let's say if you want to go and buy this, you'd have to pay about £18,000, give or take. Now obviously on top of that, you're going to require probably a motor mover. You might decide to have other things like aircon fitted. You might decide you want an awning. So we're probably saying after buying accessories, buying bits and pieces that you need for the caravan that you don't normally kind of have, maybe a battery, cables, and things that you might not get in the deal, you're probably talking somewhere around £20,000. Again, you can get a lot cheaper caravan than that. More modern caravans are generally less prone to damp. That's not to say that they aren't prone to damp. And one of the reasons we got a newer caravan, and we have a Bailey, and it's the same for Swift and Adrian other makes as well, is the fact that if you get the caravan and it's been serviced correctly, so that's a bonus tip, make sure when you go to see a caravan, if it's fairly new, check the service record, has it been every year, then you normally get a warranty with it. So although the actual kind of, maybe like the microwave hasn't got a warranty, or the other things electrical inside haven't got a warranty, if we got any leaks in this Bailey, then Bailey, up until its 6th year of ownership, will happily repair those for us. So that's why we're going to talk about a newer caravan. So like I said, you're probably talking somewhere in the region of £20,000 to buy a reasonably new, in this case 4-year-old caravan that's in pretty good nick and hopefully should last you a reasonable amount of time. How much would it cost you if you had no deposit and you bought this on a loan? Again, you can get PCP and HP deals. Personally, from a personal level, I often think when I go to the dealerships, and again, it might not be like in the industry when I say this, they're a bit of a rip-off. They're often 10, 11% interest. Now, there are some pros and cons about HP and PCP versus a loan, but really, it does seem an extreme amount of money. You could just put the first £100 on a credit card, there's a tip for you, and you'd be backed anyway. So don't feel pressured by salespeople to go and get a really expensive finance package. Again, it might work for you, but for most people, it is a very extreme way of owning a caravan or motorhome. So like we said, £20,000. If you got a 5-year loan, and I just looked on a supermarket who also do loans, you'd be looking at paying £359 per month if you didn't have any kind of deposit. That's a lot of money, isn't it? £359 a month. Now, you probably couldn't rent a flat. Maybe in the northeast you probably could, maybe a 1-bed or something smaller. But that is a lot of money to be paying at every single month. And if we're trying to compete, which we're probably not trying to compete with all other holidays, such as going away abroad, like on flights and things, it's going to be pretty tricky to still make it a cheap experience. Now you might say, well actually you could keep the caravan for a lot longer. You could keep it for 10 years. And you might say that depreciation is less of a thing. So although we're saying the caravan's £20,000, you might say in 5 years' time still sell this caravan and it may well be still worth 10, maybe even £15,000. Who knows the way prices are going. But for me, it's no longer really a cheap thing. The other thing I'm still seeing is a lot of dealers, in my opinion, are taking the mick a little bit. This all comes from the fact that I was on social media and a local northeast caravan dealer, so not the one after news, which is United British Caravans, said they had loads of used vans still. And I thought that's quite weird because if you go into a lot of dealers at the moment, they're absolutely empty. There's very little apart from new vans. So I looked at the prices and sometimes they were charging for a 2-year-old caravan more than it was brand new. And they'd already stripped the motor mover off. There was nothing on there, no extras at all, and it was still more money. And I thought, that does seem a bit crazy. Now the other thing to think about is, and a lot of people are waiting, I wouldn't necessarily wait because some people say, well, wait and prices will come down. And I do think the next couple of years, I think they will. Looking around in the market now, there are some dealers who are starting to be a bit more wise to this and starting to think, well, actually, maybe prices went up too high and maybe we need to bring them down a little bit. But I think for the short term, we're probably stuck with fairly high prices. So like I said before, what can we do to reduce the price of buying a caravan? Well, the obvious one is to make sure you look around, shop around for deals, look at all the local dealerships, look at the quality of the caravans, look at the craftsmanship, look at the reports, look at all the kind of things there. You might be able to haggle, particularly if you can find 2 caravans, which is hard at the moment, that are exactly the same year and things. You can basically go and haggle them off each other. The other thing you could consider, not saying you definitely should, but definitely will save you money, is to buy a private caravan. Now my recommendation here is if you do buy a private caravan, make sure to get it checked out. It might cost you £80 or £100 or so to get it checked out by a kind of caravan repairer or an independent engineer, but that money is well worth it, let me tell you. We once went to buy a Swift 636 2012 model here in the northeast, and there was a couple of niggles outside, but the guy was like, yep, there's no doubt at all in this caravan. So okay, we had a look around, I couldn't notice anything that was untoward. So after we looked around the caravan, I decided to get a caravan engineer, and that's definitely you definitely must do. Even maybe if it's at a dealership, but you have a bit more backup there. And I paid them £85 to go and have a look. Now they came back with a report saying that that caravan had over £3,000 worth of damp in it that I hadn't noticed. Now to be fair, the owner was like, I didn't know it was there, and I don't actually think he did because he was very surprised when I sent him the pictures of the report and he was shocked, saying he would get it fixed by Swift because it was still part of the warranty. But if you are going to buy a private, which you can get some cracking deals, make sure that you check it out and make sure you get a caravan engineer. Because like the saying goes, if it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. There's also a lot of scammers out there. So I'm not saying don't buy a dealer caravan, but if you want to save yourself a bit of money, you will save money with a private caravan as long as you check things like it's got a full service history, so therefore it's still got its ingress warranty. Other things might break, but they're kind of things that can cost a lot of money, damp repairs. And also make sure you get it serviced or checked by an independent caravan engineer who will give you a report, maybe £100, and that might even add up. We spent about £300 a couple of years ago looking at that. But in the long run, we knew the caravan we were buying was solid and there weren't any major issues with it, so it saved us a lot of money in the long run. In the top left here is a playlist of videos about caravans that are on the market, some a bit older, so you can see if you can find yourself a bargain. And in the bottom right is a video that YouTube's picked for you.